My good friends over at Penn Plax sent me the Cascade Marlin with a UV light. It's a canister filter. It looked super good in the unboxing video that I shot a few days ago, but now it's time to go ahead and set it up on my 29-gallon tank. This tank needs this so badly because the filtration on there is just not making the cut. I have a hang on the back bio wheel on there and it's just not good. It's constantly getting backed up and blocked up and all this stuff, and it ain't making the cut. If you are a fish hobbyist and you do like YouTube and you like fish channels and this is your first time watching one of my videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can watch some more of my content. You don't want to miss any of this stuff. Before we get started with this setup, I do just want to shout out Penn Plax for actually sending this filter out to me. They are a Long Island based company. They're located very close to me and they sent me this filter. Again, this is the Cascade Marlin series. This is meant for a 90-gallon fish tank. I love overfiltrating my fish tanks, so this is going on to a 29-gallon tank. So without further ado, let's begin. Before we go ahead and actually set up the filter though, what do we need? Media. Now luckily Penn Plax actually puts in mechanical filtration and some filter floss in there already, and it actually comes with the filter. I personally like to use lava rocks for biomedia. This is just some regular lava rocks that I picked up at a Lowe's. I think that the actual functionality it's labeled to use is actually for like a grill. So if you want to do like a barbecue or something like that, you can go ahead and use this. I've used this for all of my tanks, so it's aquarium safe. What you just want to make sure you do is just rinse off all the lava rocks before you actually go ahead and put them inside your aquarium. One thing that you will notice with these lava rocks is that they're very porous, which is exactly what those bio balls are, and the ceramic rings is that they're porous. So the main purpose of this is to have bacteria grow on it. And if you see there's a lot of porous little spots and stuff for the actual bacteria to grow inside of. I'm gonna go ahead and keep picking out some lava rocks here. I'm gonna get a decent amount so that we know that there's gonna be a lot of bacterial growth on side of these lava rocks. And it'll take a while for this to actually be up and running by itself, so we're gonna have both filters running on that 29-gallon tank at the same time. So my lava rocks are all washed off here. Penn Plax says that you should be using the most coarse media on the bottom and then make it go, the most coarse filter floss, biological filtration. So if you remember from the unboxing video, Penn Plax has some pretty cool clips that make everything kind of attached together, like so. And then there you go. You got everything all in one. This is actually what's pretty cool here. This is not just an ordinary valve. What you got to do here is just put it on, make sure it gets locked into place there, and then you simply just close it. Now, spoiler alert, this is actually the valve here. The black valve is actually what controls it to be locked into this single place. If you pull this forward, it'll be disengaged and it can actually pull it up from here. But the red lever is what's very cool. The red lever actually controls the outflow of the filter. So if you want it to be closed like this, it's going to not have that heavy of a flow. But if you fully open it like this, the water's really going to be going. So it's cool because this is a 29-gallon tank. This is for 90. If I do notice that it's a little bit of a too powerful of a flow, I can always make it about half. So that doesn't blow the fish completely out of the water in here. I do have Geophagus fry hanging out in this tank, so I might want to go a little bit on the lower side to begin with. This filter is going to actually be exposed, so it's a pretty good thing that it's a good looking filter. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the left side of the tank, which is right over here. I needed to think a little bit, but what we needed to do was set up the intake and the outtake so that we can hook them up to the canister filter. So what Penn Plax gives you are two tubes like this. One's obviously an intake tube and one's an outtake tube. So what you're going to want to do is they give you these pipings here. I'm going to go through each one of these with you here. So each one of these is individually packed inside of there. You have your intake tube. You're going to want to hook it up. This is actually the outtake tube for what they needed. But again, since this is really set up for a 90-gallon tank, it's much bigger. The 90-gallon tank is much bigger than this 29-gallon. So I actually hooked up the outtake tube onto the intake tube. You have two of these. Really just justify whatever you need, however you need it. At the end of the day, these are tubes that go into a filter. So this is going to hang on the back there, and then this is going to be connected to the tube. The water is going to get sucked up into here, filtered, and then this comes with two different options, which is super cool. It either has this really cool spout, which is going to disperse the water coming out of there, or you can actually go forward with a spray bar. And the spray bar looks something like this. There's actually two ones. Again, for a 90-gallon tank that's long, you can hook both of these up and it's going to literally spray water throughout the entire tank, which is obviously very beneficial, so it disperses it and you don't have a crazy amount of water flow. Now, I might actually switch over to that maybe a little bit later on. I want to see this. I was very impressed when I unboxed this, so what this piece looks like. And I think it looks really nice. I'm going to actually go ahead and set both of these up like this, or I'm going to try to at least. This has been very easy so far, so I'm pretty impressed by the setup. Penn Plax actually gives you these directions. They're really good. I'm going through the directions literally line by line and doing it this way. So if you are watching this video before actually setting it up, you can take these directions and throw them out because I'm doing it. Penn Plax, if you're watching this, I don't mean to throw out the directions. You guys did an excellent job of making those directions. Just to ensure everything's in place, Penn Plax actually gives you these suction cups, so I'm going to go ahead and set them up onto the piping. Alright guys, so I've gone ahead and set up the piping here. Everything is looking pretty good right now. All I gotta do is cut the hoses so that there's no excess there. So we want to make sure that the piping there isn't too much so we have excess tubes flying around over there. So I always get a little bit nervous cutting these things. You get one shot, do not miss your chance to blow, because these hoses can only be cut once. Let's go ahead and just make the cut. So guys, here I am sitting in between my 125 and my 29 and this new Penn Plax filter. Of course, I'm horrible at cutting these hoses, so I cut one of them a little bit too short. So I'm going to have to spin this filter around a little bit to make ends meet here. This is my intake tube. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I'm putting it inside of the inside here. Put it on there. And then you have to tighten these valves to ensure that everything's sealed on there nice and tight. Seems pretty much on there. Next we got the outflow. And of course there's a lot of excess here. I think we're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and straighten out these pipes, make them look a little bit better, and we should be good to go to start this bad boy up. Alright guys, so I made the edits to the hoses that I needed to make. I just wanted to make sure, since these are going to be exposed hoses, that they do look good, and they do. Next step is to go ahead and prime this bad boy up. I actually went ahead and added some water in there, so it should be already a little bit primed. And here comes the water. It's working. All right, you can see that there was water quickly getting out of this tank. Wow. Taking up a lot of water. So I'd say about a quarter of the tank is now missing, but it's good because this is now filled up with water and we're ready to plug it in. Let's see what this bad boy could do. One last thing to talk about here, guys, is the UV sterilizer. Here's the button to control it. Right now it's in the on position. O, that means off. I know it's O is on and off at the same time, but I know that O equals off. This is on, so we're gonna go ahead and turn this bad boy off. There's no real reason for me to have it on in my tank right now. So the filter's set up now. The intake tube is right there. The outtake tube is right there. Do apologize for the breeder box being here, but I do have these cute little Geophagus Steinbachnerii. They're getting pretty big now. They're about an inch, or just under an inch. But regardless, really happy about the way that these things turned out. The tubing looks absolutely great. Everything's been running for about an hour now. I actually fooled around a little bit with this filter. So that's how come you see a little bit of things. This filter wasn't doing the greatest job at all right here. So this tank, as you can see, has a lot of build up here. And again, this has a little bit of a higher buy load of a tank. Use this as a grow out tank, so a lot of the fish that are in here will actually be moving out soon and going into this 125. So yeah, really excited about the things that are happening inside of this 29-gallon tank. Hopefully gonna have a community established here very quickly. Let's also not forget why that tank is a little bit on the overstock side right now. Recently, I got a red-eye puffer. He's doing really great, guys. You saw him in my last video. I got a lot of people asking me about the service, about getting a new fish through online, but picking them up in the store, you don't have to pay for any shipping. Again, if you are from Long Island and you want to learn more about that, slide into my DMs on Instagram. I'd love the opportunity to put this out in front of you. If you guys did miss that video, definitely do go ahead and watch it. I moved some tanks around, some micro tanks. This is my 5-gallon, was upstairs in my bedroom. Beta fish tank used to be up here. That is now upstairs in my bedroom. And this one is here now and doing pretty well. Really excited about the way that this tank did turn out. It's kind of like a preliminary escape I have in here. Gonna go ahead and put some plants in the back, maybe some more plants or something like that up front. Maybe add some Java moss to that piece of wood. Let me know in the comment section below what you think I should do to this tank. Shout out to Penn Plax for hooking me up with this dope filter. Definitely love the way that everything came together. The setup for it was so easy. I've set up multiple canisters filters before, some being very difficult, others being easy. This was definitely on the easier side. Everything from the piping to the filter itself, to the intake, to the outtake were super easy to manage and bend and cut, and everything was just super simple and super easy. So again, shout out to Penn Plax for hooking me up with this dope filter. If you are in the market for a canister filter and you've been considering getting the Cascade Penn Plax Marlin or even the Cascade Penn Plax, I would highly recommend getting the Marlin series. Super cool. It's like the next level up from the regular Cascade series. Marlin, again, it's like their top tier. It's super nice. It's super sleek. You definitely want to check out this filter. It's outside. It's not in a cabinet or anything like that. So I needed it to be really good looking, and it is very good looking. Super compact that it can go into any space that you really do need it to go into. If you do want to purchase this filter, I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the description below so you can go ahead and purchase this filter because it is pretty dope. But that's going to be it for this video. If you did like this video, be sure to subscribe. Check out some of the other content here on my channel. Be sure to ding that notification bell if you are already subscribed. But most importantly, don't forget to fish on.